What's up, guys? We are digging back into the history of Masters of the Universe with this one. We are going to go back to the original mini-comics to take a look at the goddess for Masters of the Universe Classics. Alright, so for a bit of a backstory before we actually take a look at the figure, just for people who aren't aware, as MOTU is confusing enough as it is, especially if you don't, really get into it. The goddess is a character from the original mini-comics, and she is the character who, before Prince Adam, before the cartoon, gave He-Man, or who would become a He-Man, the axe and the armor and the shield. She did not give him the sword. She tasked the jungle He-Man at the time, who we since find out in terms of classics continuity is Ular. She tasks him with protecting the two halves of the power sword from Skeletor, and she gives him the vestments of He-Man. And he is named He-Man after the sword he's protecting, the sword of He, so on and so forth. So she is a pretty obscure character. She is a repaint in this line. She is, well, I guess not, maybe not a repaint's the best way to describe it. She is in some ways, but not in all. She's Teela. She's maybe a remolding of Teela, because she's obviously cast in a clear, translucent green plastic, which is just the best. I love it. I love clear figures. But the rest of the figure, outside of a couple things, namely the spear, is entirely Teela. So let's take a look at her and see what she's got to offer. So this figure is among the more rare figures. She's older. She also is prone to breaking, which I will talk about here shortly. And so her value is steadily increasing, I think, or is at least holding pretty well. She's not cheap, I don't think. So we're going to go over the normal stuff first, and then we'll talk about the extras that she comes with outside of these two accessories, which I'm going to go over first real quick. So we have got this gold spear. It's just a metallic gold rod with some bronze accents on the top. Nothing too special. She can hold it in one hand or both hands simultaneously. And then we've got her shield, which is just kind of a bronze brown, which somewhat matches the color on the spear. And then it's got a darker inlet color in those designs. So kind of basic warrior maiden type stuff. But it fits her overall theme pretty well. So I'm going to take this off of her wrist, and we're going to pop this out just for ease of moving her around. So as far as articulation goes, the first thing I'm going to talk about is her head. So if you can see, she's got a bobblehead. This is not a Funko Pop. This is an action figure. So we have somewhat of an issue there. This figure has pretty bad QC issues on the peg that holds the head to the neck. So it's very fragile. I'm honestly surprised, as much as I've been messing with this today, that it hasn't broken. That's essentially what happens, is it snaps. It could be due to the nature of the plastic. Translucent plastics are usually pretty weird in figures, so that could be it. But in general, I think it's just a little small, and it's not as durable. So she has the same articulation, but I am not going to be messing with the head. It can spin a little bit. The headdress gets in the way of doing just about damn near anything, though. And that's essentially the end-all be-all of the figure, really. As far as arms, they go up and out and all around. It's a female figure, so there's no bicep swivel, single-jointed elbow, and a swivel at the wrist. There is nothing at the torso or waist area. Legs can go out a bit, about that far. I don't know, her leotard gets in the way. And then she has almost no forward kick because of that same piece. And then back is hindered as well. There is a thigh cut up there, but it doesn't move very well. We've got single jointed knee, and we've got our standard boot cut, and then there's a hinge. And then she has the boots that we come to see in the Filmation style line too, with that kind of janky, weird looking hinge, which I hate. But it works well for getting her into some more poses where you need to slant her ankle. So it's useful, but it looks weird from the side. From the front, it's fine. As far as the sculpt goes, like I said, she is a parts reuse of Teela for pretty much everything. But the sculpt is nice, especially, it's mostly, on her gauntlets, her armor piece, her boots, and the headdress, of course, is, I think that's the big draw for this character, is that headdress. So the head is really nice. She has kind of a vacant expression, which I don't particularly care for. But for the most part, I think it's well done. It looks nice. It's very feminine. And then that headdress is also really, really cool. It's got obviously it's a cobra, king cobra, and it's got a lot of scales on it. A lot of textured design. You can take this off. I'm not going to be doing it on camera because it is not easy, at least not for my figure. And we'd be here for a couple extra minutes if I was trying to do that from behind the camera. But you can take it off, and she's pretty much the same. She just has kind of like a skull cap on underneath that. But then she's got these sculpted bangles on her arms. She's got the sculpted gauntlets with all this inset detail. You know, when you take the headdress off, you can see all the detail underneath on her armor. So she's got like kind of the ram horns on there, and just a lot of sculpted detail on. And there's the belt that hangs down. It goes all the way around. You got the furry boots, and then the straps that are sculpted in. And there's even a bit of a green wash inside those boots. So that's really cool. As far as paint goes, she's got a decent bit. She's got the eyes are painted, eyelashes are painted. The lips are painted another shade of metallic green. The eyes on the cobra are painted blue, metallic blue. That same metallic blue goes onto the bangles. That same blue goes onto the belt. We've got golds all over the chest piece, white and gold on the bangles. We've got the white and the wash on the boots, and then the darker brown on those straps. So overall, there's a lot of stuff going on with this figure. If she didn't have this problem, she'd be a lot better. But this really, it's more of a, just a concern, really, that, when is it going to break? That's my worry. Otherwise, the figure's pretty awesome. I really like her. And it comes down to the whole, she's cast in translucent plastic, but she represents something really cool in the line as well. Now, beyond all of this and her two weapons that she includes, I did mention that in the mini comic, she gives He-Man his vestments, his sword, not his sword, sorry, not the sword. The shield, the axe, and the armor, his chest piece, sort of, the straps. So she comes with that too. So we've got all of this. I think this is cool. I do not understand why she comes with it though. So, you collect the line, you buy in, you get all the stuff, you have He-Man. He comes with all of this. What's the point of having extras? I don't want this sitting on my shelf. It was an odd choice to me. I don't get it. I'm certainly not complaining about it. I just don't get it. It seems odd. Ultimately, why would you need all of this when you already have it? He-Man comes with all of this. It's the exact same. There is no difference. So, it's cool. It plays along with the story, and it really, you can get a kind of maybe a diorama going along with it, but you still wouldn't need this. If you had He-Man for the diorama, you've already got the stuff. So, I don't know. Seems like a weird choice, but ultimately it's just more stuff. Maybe for you customizers out there, this was a welcome sight, but I don't really get into that too much, and I certainly don't have too many uses for that. So overall, I really think the figure is very nice. The only thing that obviously is a problem is that QC issue with the head. That is ultimately the downfall of this figure, and I know it is the bane of a lot of collectors who have her, who broke her, and really can't do anything about it because you can't just go buy one, and she's not exactly cheap anymore. I like the accessories that she is supposed to have, the shield and the spear, staff. I find the inclusion of the other accessories odd, but ultimately it's not a bad thing. It's just weird. Not good, not bad, it's weird. So that's about it. She would be great if it wasn't for that head. That's really all it comes down to. So that's going to do it for this review, everyone. As always, stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time.